Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here. I appreciate you taking the time to invest in yourself. That alone tells me something about you. It tells me you care about your future. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Not just success, not just money, not just achievement. We're going to talk about your future. Because every human life is moving in one of two directions, toward discipline or toward regret. And here's the tragedy most people never realize. They don't choose regret. They simply avoid discipline. And regret shows up later. Let me start with something simple. Life does not punish you for what you don't know. Life punishes you for what you don't do. Life doesn't respond to intentions. Life doesn't respond to hope. Life responds to action. And action requires discipline. Now, discipline is not punishment. Discipline is self-respect in action. It is the decision to do what is hard now so life can be easy later. Regret is the opposite. Regret is what happens when you choose what is easy now and discover later that life became hard. Two prices. Years ago, I learned something that shaped the rest of my life. There are only two prices in life: the price of discipline and the price of regret. Discipline weighs ounces. Regret weighs tons. You don't feel disciplined very much today. Getting up early feels small. Reading 10 pages feels small. Saving a little money feels small. Making one extra phone call feels small. But regret arrives heavy. Regret arrives when your health fails. Regret arrives when your relationships collapse. Regret arrives when retirement comes and the bank account doesn't. Discipline whispers. Regret screams. My early years. Let me tell you about myself. When I was young, I was broke. Not temporarily broke. Professionally broke. I worked hard. I had a job. I showed up every day. But I was going nowhere. I used to say things like, well, someday things will change. Someday. That dangerous word. Someday is not a plan. Someday is an excuse dressed up as optimism. I blamed everything: the company, the economy, the opportunities, the timing, until one day a mentor of mine said, "Jim, if you don't change, nothing changes." That hurt, but it woke me up. He said, "You don't have a money problem. You have a discipline problem." That's when I realized something important. You cannot negotiate with reality. Reality always collects. Discipline begins with philosophy. Discipline does not begin with action, it begins with thinking. Your philosophy determines your behavior. Your behavior determines your results. If your philosophy says, "I'll start tomorrow," then tomorrow never comes. If your philosophy says, "I deserve success without sacrifice," then disappointment becomes permanent. But if your philosophy says, "I am responsible," everything changes. Responsibility is the foundation of discipline. You cannot build a strong life on blame. You must say, "This is my life. These are my choices. This is my responsibility." When I finally accepted that, I stopped waiting for someone else to rescue me. I started rescuing myself. The small things. Here's what most people misunderstand. Discipline is not heroic. It's not dramatic. It's not one big decision. It's 1,000 small ones. Going to bed when you should. Eating what strengthens you. Reading instead of scrolling. Saving instead of spending. Tiny acts, repeated. Character is built quietly. Regret is built quietly too. Skipping workouts. Ignoring books. Avoiding tough conversations. Postponing goals. Nobody collapses in one day. They drift. And drifting always leads somewhere. The cost of comfort. Let me tell you something uncomfortable. Comfort is dangerous. Comfort is where dreams go to die. Comfort is where ambition gets sedated. Comfort whispers, "You've done enough." Comfort says you deserve a break. Comfort says, "Tomorrow." And comfort slowly builds regret. I tell people, if you are comfortable, check your direction. Growth feels uncomfortable. Learning feels uncomfortable. Change feels uncomfortable. But stagnation feels comfortable until it doesn't. Regret arrives later. Regret is patient. It doesn't knock today. It waits. It waits until your energy fades, until your chances narrow, until your body slows down. Then regret says, you should have. You should have learned. You should have saved. You should have tried. You should have taken care of yourself. You should have told them you loved them. Regret speaks in should haves. Discipline speaks in daily habits. Work harder on yourself. I used to work hard at my job. Hard. But my mentor said something that changed everything. Jim, don't work harder on your job. Work harder on yourself. Your job can make you a living. But working on yourself makes you a fortune. Not just financially, emotionally, spiritually, relationally. Your income will rarely exceed your personal development. Neither will your happiness, the invisible bank account. I want you to imagine something. Every day you make deposits or withdrawals in an invisible account. It's called your future. When you read, you deposit. When you exercise, you deposit. When you save money, you deposit. When you keep your word, you deposit. But when you waste time, you withdraw. When you quit early, you withdraw. When you lie, you withdraw. When you ignore your health, you withdraw. One day, life hands you the balance. And whatever is there, that's what you live with. Discipline in relationships. Discipline is not just about money or success, it's about people. Strong relationships require discipline. Listening when you'd rather talk. Forgiving when you'd rather hold resentment. Showing appreciation when you feel busy. Neglect is easy. Connection takes effort. But neglect always creates regret. One day you realize you didn't call enough. You didn't listen enough. You didn't show up enough. Discipline builds relationships. Regret mourns them. Health, the silent account. Your health works the same way. Every meal is a vote. Every walk is a vote. Every late night is a vote. You are voting every day for the body you will live in later. People say it runs in my family. Maybe. But habits run stronger. You don't wake up sick. You practice it. You don't wake up strong. You practice that too. The courage to begin. Discipline starts with courage. Courage to admit, I can do better. Courage to say, this ends now. Courage to start when you feel unprepared. Most people wait until they feel confident. Confidence comes after action, not before. You don't get motivated and then act. You act, and motivation follows. Delayed gratification. Discipline is delayed gratification. It's saying no to the cookie so you can say yes to health. It's saying no to impulse so you can say yes to freedom. It's saying no to distraction so you can say yes to progress. Every no to the wrong thing is a yes to the right future. Your future self is watching. Here's a powerful thought. Your future self is watching you right now. Watching what you eat. Watching how you spend. Watching how you treat people. Watching whether you quit. Your future self is either saying thank you or why did you do this to me? Which conversation do you want? Success is attractive. Success is not something you chase. Success is something you attract by the person you become. And becoming requires discipline. You don't attract success by wanting it. You attract success by becoming valuable. Skills, character, consistency. These are magnets, the accumulation principle. Let me teach you something important. Everything in life is accumulation. Success is accumulated discipline. Failure is accumulated neglect. Nobody ruins their life in one day. Nobody builds a great life in one day either. It's daily, quiet, unnoticed, until suddenly everyone says, wow, you're lucky. No, you were disciplined. Choose your hard. Life is hard. Discipline is hard. Regret is hard. Choose your hard. Working out is hard. Being unhealthy is hard. Saving money is hard. Being broke is hard. Learning is hard. Being ignorant is hard. Choose wisely. The final season. Let me leave you with this. One day you will reach a season called reflection. You will look back and you will either say, I'm glad I did, or I wish I had. That moment is coming for all of us. And that moment is being built today. By what you do when nobody is watching. By what you choose when it would be easier not to. By whether you practice discipline or allow regret to quietly take root. So here's my challenge to you. Start small. Read 10 minutes. Walk 20 minutes. Save $5. Write your goals. Make one call. Keep one promise. Small disciplines practiced daily create extraordinary lives. And remember, you cannot change yesterday, but you can build tomorrow. And tomorrow begins now. Choose discipline. Because regret is far more expensive. Thank you.